My opinion on change is that it is necessary for each and every one of us to grow. We can't expect to do better or achieve better as a group or society or as a person if we're not willing to change. And the one thing that kind of sucks about change is that a lot of people are scared of it.
Welcome to Time for Change. I'm your host, Christopher Rodriguez, and on this episode, we are discussing dress code with Judith Baraga and many others, and I hope you enjoy and watch the entire thing. Why do you want to change the dress code? Why the sudden change?
I want to change the dress code because it makes our female students extremely uncomfortable. Like with me, for example, all summer and the majority of my high school years, I've worn shirts that are spaghetti strap, that show my stomach, that are off the shoulder, and it makes me feel confident and it makes me feel happy. But when you're put in a setting where you have to constantly hide that, for some reason, although you've been so confident in it for so long, you feel ashamed.
What is your opinion on modesty?
My opinion on modesty is that it's unnecessary. If you have something that you're proud or confident in, I think you should be allowed to show it off.
In the student/parent handbook, under the dress code section, it was said that it had input from staff and parents. Do you believe this is outdated?
I believe the dress code is outdated because if it were up to date, it'd be in correlation with what the majority of our students wear. I also don't believe that parents were involved in the making of a dress code because my mom used to be in the PTA for elementary school and heavily involved with my siblings' high school, Norte Vista, and she was never consulted in changing the dress code or creating a new one.
Tell me, do males benefit from the dress code?
I don't think male students benefit from the dress code because there are a lot of male students that wear hats and beanies, and that is in violation of the dress code. Benefit from the dress code because there are a lot of male students that wear hats and beanies, and that is in violation of the dress code.
That was Judith's interview. But what is it these girls really want?
I think there needs to be a clear distinction of what girls should wear and can wear, which is comfortable based on their own, on their own level of confidence, not having to worry about what other people think, specifically male people, because the school has set guidelines or has implemented guidelines which have restricted girls from wearing what makes them comfortable and levels up their confidence, because we have to worry about distracting other people and our classmates, which is something that I think needs to be addressed.
I think I should be able to wear what I want to express myself without fearing other people's judgment.
So for dress code, we should be able to wear whatever we want. I should be able to wear skirts that are not longer than my fingertips. I should be able to wear crop tops and wear shirts that show off my shoulders just because they're attractive to boys. That doesn't really bother us. We want to show ourselves.
We want change!
So, as you are aware of, there's been a lot of discussion about the dress code. What is your opinion on it?
My opinion, I have talked with several students. My opinion is that discussion is worth having. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the discussion is already, the topic has already gone to our superintendent. And he is also open to having that discussion. So he's putting together a committee that will be consist of a group from all the high schools, not necessarily Mr. Marquez, because although I have my opinions, that's important to remember because as principals change throughout the years. So it's something that shouldn't be, in my opinion, tied to the principal, but because if I'm gone, then what does that mean? Mr. Marquez is gone, so the dress code is now gone? No, it's something that's probably going to be put together in a different way so that it's continuously updated as a process, regardless of who the principal is. So it does need to be talked about. I honestly don't remember the last time the dress code policy was reviewed.
Do you think students should have an input on what we should wear? Redo the dress code?
I think we have to remember that Norte Vista is more than students. Just like adults have to remember that we're not the only ones here. So Norte Vista is a group of students, staff, community members, other stakeholders who have partnerships with us. So it's everyone that has something to do with Norte Vista or La Sierra or Hillcrest or the continuation schools. Yeah, they should have some say in it.
Would you be willing to let people wear hats?
Again, I mean, if it's my opinion, just Mr. Marquez without the principal badge on, I would, consider it. But again, it's not going to be, and nor should it be up to me, but should be one of those discussions that happen in that committee. And whether it's hats or beanies or certain shirts, at the same time, there needs to be some type of standard, because standards and expectations are what keep us focused on the bigger picture, which is educating students, graduating students, and making our community better every single day. So we need to, just like we have standards of what you get in class as far as an A, B, C, or D, same thing, as long as we have standards, so that it's just not, I think it would be funny if Mr. Marquez showed up in swim trunks every day, right? So there has to be a standard even for adults on what we're expected to wear or not wear.
Do you believe that the dress code is more for the adults and not the students?
If I understand it the way I understand it, I think the dress code is for everybody. In my example right now, even Mr. Marquez has a dress code. I have to come dressed professionally, and professionally is defined, and we'll have a standard behind it. Where someone might say, well, if I wear really nice swim trunks, isn't that professional enough? Well, no, there needs to be a standard. So I think it's for everybody. That's why I don't want to separate and say it's only for students or it's not for adults. because we have a dress code too. I just can't come dressed in my swim trunks.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I think the only thing I would have to add is the students here that are bringing up the dress code policy are doing it in a very democratic way, and I respect that, because people are going to listen when you have something to say and you say it clearly, you say it intelligently, and you bring data. Like, I'll just say Miss Judith B, I won't use her whole name, but she did an awesome job when I met with her. She had data, which I love data. She had examples, she had case studies. When you do something like that, I think it's encouraging, that students even an adult, when they bring something like that to me, instead of coming in and saying, demanding. You're going to get a lot more change when you have a purpose and reason and backing for what you are looking to change. So I encourage our students to continue that democratic process and be involved, and do it the right way, the peaceful way. Use your voice, use your great ideas, and we'll see where it gets you guys. Hopefully some things change that make people happy, but again, are set with standards. I appreciate it. Do you know Judith?
Yes, I interviewed her, I think, 2 weeks ago.
She's totally awesome. She did a great job.
Why do young female adults get in trouble for showing an inch strap?
Well, I would say the in trouble part, that seems, to me, how we do things here at Novi, the in trouble part is probably you're asking in a different definition or a different context, because no female has got in trouble if it's like a detention or a suspension or anything like that. If the shirt is outside of dress code, then we'll ask them to put a sweater on, which 90% of them have a sweater, and they just put it on and they go. Or if they don't have a sweater, sometimes they get a sweater from a friend. If that doesn't happen, then yeah, we have shirts that they can put on. But in trouble, yeah, that doesn't happen here unless there's something I don't know, but trouble I'm defining as a detention or a call home or suspension. That doesn't happen. It's usually a discussion.
Is getting dress coded more of a distraction than the actual clothing itself?
Let me see if I understand that question. Say that one more time.
Is getting dress coded more of a distraction than the actual clothing itself?
I think it's possible. I mean, it rarely happens, but again, how administration handles it is we don't want to put the student on blast in front of their friends. So we'll wait till the right opportunity to talk to the student so that it's not a big issue. But it can depend. If a male shows up with, and we have had this, if a male student shows up with, what's the example? A Pablo Escobar shirt, right? And he has his money and all the the drugs on this side, and he's holding a gun. I mean, that's probably a bigger distraction than a young lady's 1 inch or 2 inch straps, because that's not only a dress code violation, but it's also promoting not so good behaviors, right?
What do you feel is acceptable to wear?
For me, if I ruled the world, of course you have to take into account where you're at. Away from here, I rarely wear dress shirts and dress pants. I'm usually in gym clothes, including tank tops and flip-flops like Mr. Hughes. Here, because it's a different place, there is a standard, and like I think I said last time, so there's a standard of dress. What that is, I do understand could be different from, because some of it has to do with what is acceptable in the home for that student and that family. And some parents are a lot more strict about what their son or daughter can wear, and we don't have any control over that. And others are a lot more open and free about what their son or daughter can wear. But nonetheless, there has to be a standard, I think, at all places of education, especially at the public schools, because it is, we're here to learn. We're here to learn. And so, I'm glad I'm not the one that's going to figure that out, because there will be a dress code committee at the district level. But I do believe that there has to be a standard, and we all have to come to agreement on what that standard is, which means I may not get everything that I truly believe should be in the dress code. Parents may not get everything that they believe should be here or not be in there, and same with students. So that's compromise and understanding of, okay, it is a school in the end. It is a school. It is a place of education. It is a place of professionalism. So would it be, and I know this is on the extreme end, would it be okay for males to wear Speedos to school and females wear bikinis? No. And that's what I mean. There has to be a standard, right? No matter what end it is, there's the extreme this way, the extreme that way, just like a bell curve. So somewhere in the middle is where we're all going to have to meet and just understand, okay, we can live with that. Because in the end, it's a school, and we're here students are here to learn and to graduate, and adults are here to help the students along in that educational process.
I just want to go back to the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rephrase it. Why do you think young female adults get coded for showing an inch? This could be like a bra strap.
Yeah, the bra strap is going to be a discussion that, again, I don't know if I have that answer. But again, if I have a standard, you know, because I would say a bra strap goes under the category of undergarments, right? Everybody has undergarments, male or female, right? So if the standard then becomes it's okay to show undergarments, then where do we draw the line, right? Because no matter what, if we say, well, that undergarment is okay, but these undergarments aren't okay. So there has to be a standard. When it comes to an inch, I can tell you I don't know visually, looking at a young lady's shirt and saying, is that an inch? Is that an inch and a half? Is that 2 inches? For us right now, there is still a dress code, the current dress code, and that's what we have to go by, right? How we handle it and how any school handles it is more important, I think, than the actual dress code, because you can still get, and if it could be dress code, it could be any other topic or behavior, and how you handle it as adults, and because it's really about modeling, I think that's bigger than the actual issues we're talking about. Because like I said, I can give my assistant principals the directive, any student who's sagging their pants, any young lady who straps are less than an inch, bring them up or send them home, they're suspended. Is that going to improve the culture at Norte Vista? Is that going to cause more defiance of behaviors than actually help? So right now, I think we're handling the situation well. I know other schools are having more issues, and that may be because of how they're handling or how they're not handling it. To me, the bigger issue is our students learning. And I'm not trying to go around the question, because that's how important the question is to me in the bigger picture. My responsibility as a principal is to make sure our percentage of graduates goes up, our percentage of students passing and getting reclassified goes up, our percentage of A through G goes up, all that. That's what I'm responsible for. I don't think my superintendent's going to call me and say, hey, because you're having so many dress code issues, you're no longer principal. I don't think that's what I'm here for. So we will handle it in the most respectful way that we can, and hopefully we get parents, students to understand, like, okay, no big deal, Mr. Marquez. And you know, 99% of the students that I've approached totally understand it, and okay, they never wear that shirt again, or they never sag their pants again, or they never put on the hat again. You know, so not that big a deal to me.